baby.
All right, y'all. Well, we are live on this Thursday, and I have a very special guest on the channel. His name is Frankie Candles. Frankie Candles, are you there, man?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, bro. I'm very excited to have you on the channel. Thank you so much for coming on.
Well, of course, man. They do. Thanks for having me on, man. I'm pumped. I'm actually curious to have a conversation with you and yeah, show some charts and hear what you're thinking too.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, basically, what I'm thinking is we have some pretty macro bottom signals on Bitcoin in general.
Mhm.
Having come down to that 786 and the daily, the weekly, the 4 hour, everything's looking super bullish. And I do have to say that when we came down last night and we got that bounce from that, we actually filled a single print actually, and we bounced right from that single print that we had at I guess 18141. That to me was a very strong bottom because we did it with some very, very bullish divergences. And when we look at the weekly market Cipher B, we have money flow in the red. We printed a Ben Armstrong green dot, trigger wave forming. On the daily, we have a bullish divergence about the print here at the bottom of a macro range. And we retested the previous bull market all-time high, held it as support, and I had just historically the signals that we have right now in market Cipher B have always been the bottom of the bear market, the exact bottom. Doesn't mean we're going to pump right away. It means we're going to range for like up to maybe a year or so. But
Mhm.
it's historically been the bottom. So I still have my eggs, some of my eggs in the basket that this is the bottom. So I'm looking for longs here. I did actually take a long from 18,280 last night, and I've been even adding to it today on the way down. So let's see how that works out for me, man. But
Yeah, I would generally agree with you, man. I mean, there, like you said, there's a lot of macro indicators. Again, I'll show my charts here in a second and show you some of the stuff I'm looking at, and then I'll also share a some macro things that are looking like it could potentially, if the bottom's not already in, at least it's very close. But like you said, retesting that previous all-time high, that was one of the big things I was looking at. I'll share my screen here. I don't know if it's showing just yet,
it is,
but
yes.
I would like to. Okay, beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up a chart here, just to kind of start off. Let me pull up. So I made this chart. It was for a pre-record that I made on my channel. But basically, what I did here was I came out to the weekly time frame and I marked out where all the bottoms have been and where all the halvings have been, right? Just to kind of get like a macro outlook of the previous cycles. And then I measured time wise. The right here you can see the distance or the amount of time between the halving. Right here is looking very similar to the 2013-2014 cycle. And you can see that, assuming that, assuming that 17.6 was the bottom, if it was, it would make a lot of sense because if you go from the halving of this cycle, which was in about May of 2020, all the way to what we would think is the bottom, that big capitulation down to about 17.6. It took about 763 days to get from that halving all the way to that, possible bottom that we hit, right? And if you come down to 2013, 2014, you could see that the distance between the halving and the bottom was 777 days. So pretty close here. Now, obviously, you wouldn't want to put all your weight on here. This is obviously just kind of, looking at it. I think it's interesting to see this stuff as the cycles have played out very similarly over time. And then, from the bottom, it took about 413 days to hit the bottom after we peaked out at the all-time high in this cycle. And we're at about 427 days to that potential bottom from the all-time high of this cycle, assuming that first top was the top of the market or the top of sentiment, right? Because there were a lot of things. I have a video about this on my channel talking about how, tons of things were pointing to this being the actual top of this market and then this being the beginning of the bear market. So I'm not going to get too deep into that, but there's a lot of things that are, pointing to that potentially being the actual peak of this bull market.
Yeah, I agree with
And
you, actually. I agree.
assuming this is the top, these measurements are very, very similar. So in my opinion, I think enough time has gone by, just taking these measurements for this top all the way to this potential bottom at about 17.6. Obviously, fluctuates depending on what exchange you're looking at. But I think enough time has gone by here to have, 17.6 be that bottom. Now, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, obviously. And I know you're a big fan of schlonging. So I know you probably agree with that. But, the only things that kind of have me second guessing if we're going to make, new lower lows is, going to be technically on a technical level. Obviously, we have the second yellow X printing on the weekly chart, which is a pretty bearish side in my opinion. However, obviously, there's a chance that might not. It doesn't mean that this yellow X is going to play out in a super dramatic way. And then another important thing here, kind of pointing to me that the bottom could potentially be in, is again this white line right here is the 2017 all-time high, and so far, we have not closed any weekly candles below this level. As you can see, this yellow X is starting to push us below, but obviously we still have 3 days and 8 hours for this candle to close. So potentially that daily bullish divergence, those 4-hour bull divs, potentially if they give us a big enough move up, maybe we could close this candle above this level as well. So there is a lot of things that are kind of, to me, there's a lot of evidence saying that 17.6 could have potentially been the bottom. So, I do feel like, even if the bottom is not in, I think it's very, very close. So that yellow X is kind of making me not nervous, but a little bit skeptical. It's leaving that open door to potentially make lower lows on top of just the macroeconomic sentiment in general, right? Like the macroeconomics right now are not looking too good. We have a lot of stuff going on in the world. So I just like to try and remember that, at any moment we can have something, similar to what happened in, 2020, something like that. A black swan could easily, in my opinion, bring us down, and we could potentially see Bitcoin do something that it hasn't done. So that's kind of my idea on, are we at the bottom yet? I would say it's definitely possible. Every day that we don't make a lower low, it gets more and more likely, in my opinion. But that yellow X and, that yellow X has got me, the yellow X and the macro sentiment has got me feeling a little iffy, but, looking at the charts here, like you said, we came down to that 786. Let me pull up my other chart now. But yeah, coming down to that 786 has got me feeling, that could have been the bottom right there. And then maybe again, like you said, I think people forget that in bear markets, you get a lot of times you'll get big capitulations down, and then you go sideways for a while, right? It gets very boring. I always say, they scare everybody, they scare all the retail out of the market, and then anyone left over, they try to bore you out with that sideways action. So that 786 is, I believe, what you were talking about right here. So yeah, in my opinion, this potentially could have been the bottom. And again, looking at the weekly, I know you were saying it was looking bullish, and I would also agree. Other than this yellow X, right? We have your momentum waves working their way up here. So, potentially putting in some bullish divergences here as well. We do have that red dot. But this generally, I mean, when I look at this, I'm curious to see what you think. But, when I look at this, I mean, this looks somewhat bullish to me. You got the big anchor wave, a potential trigger wave forming here. So this does look pretty decent to me. And then again, that 4-hour, bull divs starting to form here on the 4-hour. And then, like you just said, also at very important support, right? For me, this value area low at about 18,825 has been that level that we've been watching. Obviously, we've wicked down to this spider line a couple times. So these are just some of the things I'm looking at, as far as the bullish end of things. Waiting for that 4-hour red dot to print. If we could come down just a little bit, I'd love to come touch this spider line one more time to try to get a long position in. I am currently still holding some shorts. So I'm going to let those ride out. But I would say, right now, just with those 4-hour bull divs, the fact that we're at this important support, I do think there is a potential, even if the bottom is not in and we're going to come lower, I think, there is a potential possibility with the daily bull div. Once that VWAP crosses the 0 line, I think there could be a good chance we get a decent bounce here.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And the thing is, even if we do make a lower low, there is the potential that the chickens could drink from that low. And I see you have a spider line. Yeah, hello, can you hear me? Yo. Whoa, stay tuned, guys. Hang on. 1 second. Frankie, we
Oh,
can
okay.
we can hear you, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what I just lost you for a second. I think I accidentally muted my computer.
Oh, okay. I
That was my fault.
I was saying that I do agree with like what you're saying. We're holding support. Things are looking bullish. You know, the one thing that even if we make a lower low here, you have a spider line on your chart coming in around 1700.
Hmm.
And, you know, I also have a level of support down there at around 17,150, give or take. And so there is always the potential that we could come and take out the low at 17,500 that we put in. If we do that and we do it quick, there would be a bullish divergence on the weekly time frame, which I don't think has ever happened in the history of Bitcoin, where money flows in the red with the big green dot, where we are then getting a bullish divergence on market Cipher B on the weekly time frame. That has never happened, ever. And that actually also intrigues me potentially for getting into a super juicy long trade. If we happen to lose that level with the bullish divergences and then reclaim it, I would be very interested in longing that. But yeah, it's very interesting to see your chart there with all the previous cycles. I agree with you that April was the top. April was definitely the top of the.
I was curious what you thought about that.
Yeah, 100%, man. April was the top because that's where the dollar bottomed out. That's where the stock market topped out. Um, and so Bitcoin just put in a double top bearish divergence while the other markets kind of just had a smaller retracement in their trend that started in April. So that makes the most sense to me. Bitcoin doesn't typically always play by the rules as the other markets. It has a smaller market cap. It's easier to move the price. And
Hmm.
how many times do we see Bitcoin put in a high or a low and then take the higher the low, right? Like it happens all the time.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would totally agree. And, like you were saying before, there is a lot of macro indicators and a lot of like on-chain charts. You have the pi cycle bottom indicator starting to, or flashing that the bottom is already in. Granted, in my opinion, those things are right until they're wrong, but they've been, very, very accurate in the past. Do you pay much attention to things like the fear and greed index or like the CBBI or anything like that?
I don't really. The only times I do give them any mind is if there's a sentiment of a certain direction in the market and I'm looking for a trade in the opposite direction. Like if I'm looking for a juicy
Gotcha.
short, I want the greed to be super high. And if I'm looking for a juicy long, I
Gotcha.
want everyone to be scared. But I don't really give much credence to it because I'm a very technical trader. Like I don't care about the news. I don't care what Jerome Powell's saying. Like because that stuff doesn't give me an entry. Because I'm a trader.
Yeah.
Like that stuff doesn't give me an entry. If bullish news is about to come out, so what? You know, I'm looking for where can I take a long from? If the news is bullish, where can I take the long? You know?
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm happy you said that because I feel like, I tell people, they're like, actually, it was funny. I turned Crypto Face's stream on yesterday for like, I was about to go on Ben's stream. I think I turned it on for like a few minutes, and dude, he was saying, he was cracking me up. He was like, now we got all these people online talking about the interest rates and the basis points, like oh they know what they're talking about. Everybody's talking about this stuff, and I love that he said that because I'm very much the same way, man. Like I'm surrounded by a lot of the news here at the at the office and stuff, so I do get it. I it's in my face constantly just because of my environment, but I am a technical trader. I don't really pay that much attention to the news. Like I said, I'm very updated on it, but that's just because of the environment I'm in. Yesterday, I'll show you right here on my chart. Yesterday, I was looking for price to come. Let me turn off this VPVR so it's just not as noisy. So I was waiting to come up to this level right here. We have a strong level resistance right here at about 19,771. I have my POC. And I was waiting for price to potentially pump off the Fed news to pump into this to potentially look for, a good little scalp short, and wound up getting up there. I shorted the I was just going to get into a little scalp short here, and then it wound up absolutely tanking. And then, like I said off camera earlier, my phone died, and it absolutely ripped up. My short was getting wrecked, and then it absolutely got, just dumped again. But I traded the 15-minute bearish divergence. I knew the Fed news came out, but I was just like, I put a lot more weight. I really shorted the divergence. I wasn't
Right.
really shorting based off the news. So, and it works, right? I think a lot of people are like, well, you have to pay attention to the news. I'm like, well, listen, as soon as the technicals really start failing me, and I'm wishing I start wishing I was paying attention to the news, then I'll change. But the technicals very rarely lie. I mean, it doesn't they don't play out 100% of the time, but when it stops working for me, I'll start paying more attention to the news.
Yeah, make sure to like the stream, everybody. Give Frankie Candle some love. And shout out to MB, who says everyone talking about the basis points, but no one knows what the F of basis points is. It's true. I don't even know what the heck it is, and I don't even care, to be honest with you. And
I respect that you say that too, man, because I feel the same way. It's like, I'm not an expert in how the Fed operates and stuff. I know it affects the markets, and I know how it affects the markets. But again, technical trading is, I'm a technical trader like you.
yeah, I see. Wow, do we have some bullish divs on the? Is that the 15-minute time frame that has a bullish div on it? Wow, I totally missed that, man.
There she goes.
That's a bummer, because I did also take a short. I did take a short on Bitcoin also yesterday, but the way I got into a short was I waited until we came up to that, because when we got the pump, the initial pump, into that POC, I totally missed it, man. Like, I totally missed it. So instead, what I did was I waited for the retest. Around 19.7, I waited for the retest, where when we got that massive dump and then we came to pump back up, I still considered that naked point of control as untapped, and then I shorted it from the retest of the fib. We had a very local fib, yeah, and I'm still in it. But unfortunately, this is kind of messed up. So I didn't see that bullish div, but I got into a long from that low that we put in from the chickens drinking water down here at like 18.2 something, and
Gotcha.
I was looking to add to my position a little bit lower, and we never actually came to it. So I hope we come down to it, and I hope we don't pump now, because although I am in a long, I would much rather prefer to come down lower so I could add to it. Because just like you, I am feeling bullish down here. Like, I like this. I really like this low that we put in. I really like it.
I would totally agree, man. And me too. I'm actually I am only in shorts right now, so I don't have a long position yet. So I would love to come back down to these lows to potentially grab a long here. But this 15-minute, I was waiting for this 15-minute to really come into the red, and we just snuck down there for a second, came right back up. So hopefully, we do have hopefully that 4-hour red dot. These medium time frames are starting to look like they want to print red dots. Hopefully these can print, and these lower time frames can come into the red finally. We can get that one last move down, take profits on my shorts, and then hop into a long, hopefully.
Yeah. Have you been trading other? I took a Ripple short this morning because of we were doing the VIP altcoin stream, and I opened up the chart, and we're like right in the middle of a golden pocket in a daily level with some bearish divs. I mean, how do you feel about Ripple, man? Ripple seems to be taking off lately. I mean, the past few days. You have any thoughts on XR Pizzle?
Yeah, man. I will say this. I know this kind of goes back to being a technical trader. I know. Listen, I know a lot of people. It's either with Ripple or with XRP. It's either you absolutely are an XRP, a fanboy, or they hate XRP. Right? I happen to love XRP. It actually was one of the first. Actually, I think Litecoin was the first crypto I ever bought. But Ripple was the second. So I have a little bit of emotional attachment to it. But I will say this. A lot of people don't like it for the quote-unquote centralized aspect of it. A lot of people think it goes against crypto, and I totally understand that. But like I said, I'm a technical trader, so if the XRP chart looks good, if I think it's going to perform well, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to trade it. Unfortunately, man, I am not in any XRP trades, so I missed this boat. But yeah, man, it's starting to perform really, really well. I do think, again, I don't pay too much attention to the news here, but I do think some people at the office were telling me that there was some, it did get some news about the case that could be a potential reason why it was pumping. But I will say, I think if XRP can get, a decent move up here, I do think that I think 50 cents. If this could be sustained, this move, I do think a move to about 50 cents could be likely.
Yep.
Because it's not we don't have a lot of volume here, but we do have a little. There is basically nothing above us here. If you look at the VPVR, there's a big gap, right? Right here, you could see this blue line, obviously, for anybody watching. Jason, I know you know what this is, but this blue line here, once we get over this this volume here, this is typically, they got a big old goose egg here. So a lot of times, you can see price rip through there, like you see right here. So if we could push through a little higher and we could sustain this pump, I do think we can get a pretty quick ride up to about 50 cents, where you could barely see it here. But, right there, you do have a little, might get caught up there at 50 cents a little bit. It's also a psychological level. So we were looking at this last night on my stream. We were saying like, hey, this thing looks good, and I didn't get an entry. So, but yeah, happy to see it, man. Hopefully this case can end. I do have, I'm very open about this. XRP is one of the assets that I did not sell in the bull market. So I am still holding all my XRP from when I first bought it, and I'm accumulating more. So
Nice.
So yeah, I'm an XRP guy. It's probably one of my biggest bags. So.
That's
but
nice,
yeah, that
man.
50 cent level would be a level I'm watching. Yeah.
Me too, man. That 50 cent level. I mean, we have a, I'm kind of looking at XRP as a range. I'm gonna pop on my screen real quick. I know you probably can't see it, which is a bummer. But we have this range here, and I consider the highs to be around that 53 cent area. So yeah, we have that big low volume goose egg, as you call it, and then we smack right into a golden pocket. And also we have a nice level of liquidity up there on the daily time frame, little order block type thing in there, high volume nodes. So I kind of am looking at the same way, but I'm also looking at this as a potential area of resistance. I mean, we have bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame and down after this move to the upside here, and this is a key area of resistance. I'm curious to see if we can come down a little bit more here. From these highs. I'd be curious to see. But it always does crack me up, bro, when people say like XRP is not crypto because it's like part of the current financial system. It's like, unless it's a privacy coin, all crypto is, in my opinion, like has been co-opted by people we don't want to be part of crypto. I mean, you have the Federal Reserve just releasing a report saying, yeah, we're either gonna integrate our new CBDC with the existing blockchain infrastructure, or we're gonna run it parallel side by side. And you have people like Peter Thiel, who funded Vitalik Buterin to program Ethereum, and Ethereum is now going green. It's like, come on, man. Of course this stuff is,
Dude, I 100% agree. And I think another thing that, people freak out when in my opinion, this XRP lawsuit can do a lot for the regulatory clarity of crypto. And I think people hear the word regulation and they're just like, you idiot, like why would you want regulation? Crypto's supposed to be for freedom and decentralization and all this stuff. But like, if we want crypto to be the future, and I say this sometimes on my stream, and I could just hear the people clicking the dislike button. Regulation is, we need regulation. If we don't get regulation, they're just going to try to ban it and make it harder and harder for people to use and invest in crypto. So in my opinion, I think this XRP lawsuit could be absolutely monumental for the crypto space in general, because the traditional system is going to learn a lot about crypto. And for me, if the traditional financial system is going to adopt a crypto, and XRP is looking like, the cross-border payment solution, and if there's a chance that that could become the thing, I don't know why you wouldn't want to own it. That would make me want to own it even more.
Exactly,
So,
bro. That's how I feel
yeah,
too. It's like if if the people
it's
that
like, get out of your
control the
feelings,
money
people.
are going to be using this stuff, you got to play the game, man. You
A
know?
100%, man. Yeah, people get very fanatical about the decentralization. And again, I understand why. But to me, like, I'm not going to pretend like I am in crypto. I love crypto. I love the culture of crypto. I've met some of the best people some of the best human beings I've ever met. I've met through crypto. So, I definitely understand, but I am also here to make money. So,
Yeah.
if I think that XRP could potentially get adopted as into the traditional financial system, I don't care about I'm looking to get on that train for sure.
Yeah, me too. I mean, don't get me wrong. I only got into crypto because of the decentralization, because I'm like
Hmm.
a free market capitalist, and I dislike you know, the 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 current financial system that we have, right? The Keynesian system, the debt
Right.
based system. It's set up to fail. It's set up to take all the wealth from the people and centralize it into a very small group. That's why it exists. And we've seen that happen, especially since 2008, where all the real tangible assets have been taken by people the rich people are getting richer, and the poor people are getting these fake debt notes that are constantly being devalued to the point where they literally can't do anything except beg the government for help and live in a smart city on UBI. But like, the unfortunate reality is that this crypto stuff is not heading in the direction that us libertarians hoped. So we have two choices. We could either say, well, screw crypto, or we could say, how can we benefit? How can we ride the momentum? How can we play the game that the rich people are playing so that we can position ourselves in a way that would be beneficial for us, as opposed to just letting them continue to screw us? Like, those are the two choices in my mind. Like, people, when I talk about Bitcoin going green, Ethereum going green, and like how the World Economic Forum is all about chain link and stuff, and I say I'm bullish on these assets, people are like, "Oh, don't you think that's so evil?" It's like, well, if that's what they're doing, I'm gonna play their game so that I'm not sitting here in a smart city getting a injection every week when I'm on UBI eating bugs. You know what I'm saying?
100%, man. I mean, it's scary, man. It really is scary. And again, yeah, like, either you could take advantage of the opportunity, and even in this previous bull market that we just went through, in my opinion, man, it's just been shown that obviously we had institutions in here this cycle, right? And we had the top in 2021, and then we had the massive dump. Everybody's like, what's going on? You could see the Wyckoff distribution has been insane, right? Like, I've never seen whales just play people like a fiddle. This cycle was just, everybody got tricked by the whales, and which is, it's a gift and a curse having all these, all the big money and the government starting to get interested, because you need that capital to drive the price up, and but obviously it comes with horrible things such as manipulation, and the whales definitely know how to play people's emotions and just play them like a fiddle. So um yeah, I couldn't agree more. Just it's not, if you can't beat them, join them. It's, if you can't beat them, take advantage of what they're doing so you're not stuck in the old ways, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. That's how I look at it as well. I'm not trying to join them, but it's like, if this is how it's going, why not ride that wave? I mean, it's just like trading. Like, we trade with the big money. You know,
Hmm.
we're not trying to be the people, the retail traders that get stop hunted, and we're not trying to give our money to the whales. Like, we're trying to ride what they're trying to do. That's why we look for longs after they push the price down, and look for shorts after they dump it up, instead of FOMOing in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
100%, man. And more on a just, if I could show one more thing here, I would love to share the something that I look at Similar to you, again, I don't really pay too much attention to fear and greed, unless I'm just trying to, get a macro view of, where should I be dumping my long-term investment into the market. But I do want to bring up, if I could, the CBBI. And this is basically the Bitcoin Bull Run Index. And what this is it's very similar to the Fear and Greed Index, where it spits out a number. And essentially, how this works is the it gives you a rating between 0 and 100. So 100 would be they call it a confidence score. So as you can see here, confidence, we are at the peak. So if this was 100, that's basically where they think the top of the market is, and a 0 would be basically 100% confident that the bottom is in. So the reason I like this over the Fear and Greed Index is, number one, I think this chart just gives you so much more information. You get the heat map here. Obviously, the red, dark red areas have correlated with the top of cycles, right? You can see that in 2017. Even here, we didn't get dark into the red, which also kind of shows me that there was maybe some suppression. But this is just super useful. I definitely recommend, anybody who's interested, go check it out. But you could see here, this is in 2014. We actually came in at a 0, so that was calling the bottom at a 0. And then in 2018, we got a 3 as the bottom. And right now, you guys saw it. We are at a 4 right now. So again, this is just because I know a lot of people always ask me, like, is it too late to buy? Is it or is it too soon to buy? We're gonna get that next leg down, and I tell people all the time, if you're like, this was the bottom here, this was the bottom here. I mean, it's looking very similar. Even if it isn't the bottom, I think the bottom's very close. And then the other thing I like about this is that it involves they actually give you the metrics that go into the calculations that create this chart.
That's awesome, man.
And you could turn them on and off if you just want to look at certain things. And the other thing, and I have no affiliation with this at all. Somebody in my chat told me to look at this, and I absolutely fell in love with it. You can click on these things, and it will pull up. It'll actually pull up a chart that shows you exactly what that actual metric is. This is the 2-year moving average multiplier, and obviously it's best time to sell when you're over this moving average up here, and when you're in the green below the moving average, it's been historically the best time to buy. And if you look at our current cycle here, we're in the green. So this is DCA City, in my opinion. So
interesting, bro. So Lane Hughes wants you to shout him out for showing you the CBBI. Is that true? Did he show you the CBBI?
Dude, it's so funny that he's in chat, man. 100%. I was gonna shout him out, but I was like, I don't know. I was gonna shout him out. Yeah, shout out to Lane Hughes. He showed me the CBBI. Dude, I absolutely love this thing.
Nice. Shout out to Lane Hughes, a cool guy. And
he's awesome.
Yeah, I've never seen this before, man. This is pretty dang cool. Yeah, for all intents and purposes, it really does look like we're at a bottom here. And, man, it's making me kind of want to FOMO long. What do you think, Frankie? 100x long right now?
100x long, no TA at all. Just jump into that 100x long blind, baby.
All right, I'm doing it, man. Yeah, very interesting, bro. Very interesting. So, yeah, you got a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on, man. So you're like doing the BitBoy show. You're like hosting around the blockchain. You're like super famous now.
Yeah, man. I'm very I barely sleep. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, Ben was just went bear hunting for 2 weeks straight. So because he is the hardest working person I've ever seen. He never takes a break. He makes so much content. So he's trying to to take a little bit. We got to give him some room to breathe there. So he went hunting for 2 weeks, and then so I cover the morning stream sometimes. Obviously, DZ does the morning stream a lot, and then I'll hop on ATB. But some of the days get crazy. It makes it hard to sit on the charts as much as I do, unless I'm on stream or recording a video. But can't complain, man. I'm having a blast, so I'm loving it.
That's awesome, bro. Wow, bear hunting. I don't think there's anything more manly than going bear hunting. That's intense,
Well,
bro.
we were telling him, you better go kill those bears that might mark the bottom.
That's that's so true, man. Is he gonna eat the bear? Like what do you do with a bear?
Yeah, I don't really know. I actually don't think they wound up not seeing one, unfortunately.
Oh,
Um but yeah, we were all cracking up. We're like, hey, if he comes back with a bear, that's the biggest bottom signal I've ever seen.
yeah, seriously, man. Seriously.
It's too funny. I think he got a moose though, actually.
Oh, I love
So I don't know
moose,
what that
bro. Moose is good. Have you ever had moose?
means. No, I actually haven't.
It's good stuff, man. It's good
What is it?
meat.
What does it taste? Is it like steak or is it more
Yeah,
like
yeah.
w- w-
It's like
okay.
it's like red meat, beef, kind of like venison,
Gotcha.
kind of like that.
Gotcha. I love venison. Venison's so good.
Me too, man. And where I live, there's plenty of I could hunt on my property, so
No way, really.
yeah, man. So there's a lot
That's
of
awesome.
yeah, good venison out here, and wild turkey too.
That's awesome. Dude, I love your homesteading stuff, man. That is awesome. I gotta start getting into that because yeah, I always see your shorts pop up and I always see like you're planting dude, I actually saw one and dude, I thought this was so cool. You were talking about I saw a short that you made and there was a worm, some kind of worm that I guess is bad for your crops.
Oh
And
yeah,
dude, and you related it to trading, man. I thought that was so cool. I'm like, wow, man, that's just the metaphors that you're making. That I love that stuff.
yeah. It's always a challenge to try and figure out how can I relate this to trading. But
You did a good job.
in a lot of ways, bro, like trading is it's just another way for you to like see who you are as a person. Like trading will show you how much of a scumbag you are, like how much you lack discipline, how much you are craving instant gratification and addicted to like dopamine triggers and stuff. Like, I mean, it really can extend to every aspect of your life. Being disciplined, putting in hard work, being patient, uh, taking out things that you know are detrimental to your success. It's like, when you're gardening, like you have to take the weeds out, you have to take the pests out, otherwise your crops are not going to bear fruit. And when it comes to trading, like you have to stop those bad habits that are causing you to revenge trade, that are causing you to not use good risk management, that are causing you to chase price. Because if not, all your work is not going to bear any fruit. So I've honestly
A
found that
hundred.
trading has made me a better person in a lot of ways. Some ways, it's made me a worse person.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, even in trading can show you just yeah in life, like what kind of yeah, it can help you in life 100%. I love that you made that connection. So yeah, I mean, it's I would say trading has helped me grow as a person as well, especially in the discipline area because you have to be disciplined when you trade or you're just going to lose. And if you do it for long enough, for me personally, man, like I mean, I always I'm that person that I'm that little kid that has to touch the hot stove. My mom might be, don't touch the hot stove, don't touch the hot. I gotta touch it. Like, why not? I gotta touch it, and sometimes I gotta touch it a couple times. I'm a thick-headed Italian, so sometimes I gotta learn the hard way. And trading, has helped me. When I first started. Obviously, my risk management was horrible. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was looking for that quick hit, that quick dopamine.
Right.
And then over time, you realize you get crushed so many times. You're like, I gotta change my game plan. You implement a strategy, implement good risk management, go for consistent small wins rather than going for the jackpot. And yeah, I see that translate, into my life, definitely. So. But then again, does have its downfalls. My, Mrs. Candles, stop looking at the charts, hang out with me. So it's a balance. It's a balance for sure.
Nice. There is a Mrs. Candles. There's a Mrs. Candles out there.
Yeah, so we're not married, so I guess she would be Miss
Oh,
Candles,
Miss
but
Candles.
hopefully soon.
Got you, man. Nice, 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 bro. Yeah, I know how that is. It really refines you as a person because in the one aspect it teaches you discipline. It helps us, especially our generation, man. Like I'm 32. Are you like what, like in your 20s or something? Late 20s?
Yeah, I turned 30 in April.
Okay. Yeah, so like we're so used to instant gratification with everything. Like we don't have to work for anything. and we just get it, right? That's just how our generation is. We got the participation trophy, you know, and especially when it comes to trading, it's like you see the potential to make so much money, and it will teach you who you are as a person. And that extends into every aspect of life, like relationships and farming and health and fitness, especially, like, you know. So it's very interesting. But then in other ways, like you're saying, like, you know, I can't tell you how much I've neglected my wife and kids for trading, right? So it's like it's a double-edged sword in a lot of ways, because like I can't tell you how many times I've been supposed to be hanging out with my wife, Big Butts 28, and here I am on my laptop looking at the charts, you know?
Looking at uneven butt cheeks.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
and it's all like you said, it's a double-edged sword too, because you're also, supporting your family. Trading obviously helps support your family too. So it's that's something I'm personally finding trying to find balance with right now, especially I know you've been, I don't know exactly how long you've been doing YouTube. I know you've been doing it for a while. That's something I've been having to get used to between the channel and trading and everything in my life. Trying to just find that balance to just kind of wind down a little bit has been a little bit difficult for me. So trying to work on it.
Yeah, for sure. It's a balance, especially if you're a YouTuber. So the good thing is, we can kind of combine trading and YouTube. Well, I can. You have a totally different YouTube life than I do, man.
Yeah, it is interesting. Everybody, we're kind of all doing something very similar, but everybody's situation is very different. So, yeah, it's I actually just set up actually just I'm building a new studio in my house that will hopefully, in a weird way, the idea there was in order to like kind of just combining my work life and my personal life completely by putting that home office at the house will kind of give me a little bit more freedom, because I come into the office here at about 7:45, and then I don't leave. I stream until like 7:45 p.m. and then I got to do the 9 p.m. for the BitBoy channel, so I usually don't get home till like 9 p.m. So at least if I could work at home, hop off my stream, and then I'm at least already home. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, it might help, or it might make it worse, bro. Cause
I know.
because then there's no designated place for work, which I really struggle with that, because my office is a cell phone and a laptop, and people who follow me know I'm always, because whenever we have to go run errands as a family, like we do it, so we're on the road like all day, and I got my laptop in the car trading and driving, the kids are fussing in the back and stuff, and like, I'm totally in my own world. Like uh, there's no delineation between work and not work, so just make sure you keep balanced, especially with Mrs. Candles around, because you don't want to burn the candle from both ends, bro.
100%. It did go through my head. I'm like, this'll help me, but then that quick live stream or whatever is just 3 feet away from my bedroom now. It could double down on the the problem.
Yeah, yeah, man. Well, cool. So, any other thoughts you have, bro? Like, as far as the markets, as far as life advice, home offices.
Yeah, I'll leave everybody with this. Listen, as far as crypto goes, like we just looked at, both of us, it is looking, not if the bottom is not already in my opinion, it's very close. But again, there's a lot of things that are supporting. There's a lot of things pointing to the bottom potentially already being in. But just remember, whether we get that second leg down or not, those some of those, that chart that I just pulled up, that 2-year moving average is showing that we are in the buy zone. Historically, we are in a position where it's historically been the best time to buy Bitcoin, and that's just one chart of many that I've seen that are flashing those signals. So even if we get that next leg down, if we're at 150K at some point, I'm not going to care that much if I bought in at 18K or 16K. At 150K, you bought the bottom, and now you're at the top. So and then as far as life, show your family love. Leave work at work, and leave home at home. And again, Jason, thank you so much for having me on, man. This was a blast. I really really respect what you do, man. You're I when I hop in your live streams, man, you got me laughing. And you are an absolute sniper, dude. Your trading is intense, man. And I respect that for sure.
Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for the kind words, and I absolutely respect what you do as well, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming on. And so
Absolutely.
everyone watching the stream, make sure to hit a like out there. Show Frankie Candles some support. And yeah, God bless everyone, and I'll see you in the next stream. Peace.